based on birth, which it is now. This thing about it being based on birth only happened after it was that English that had taken over and they changed the structure and then everybody got locked into a caste. Okay. But in the ancient times, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. And so if you have somebody that's a warrior class, you give them different practices, a different way to work with them so they can break through. If you have somebody that's doing the class that they're merchants and things, you work with them differently. Okay? So every class, every mentality would be like in a different group structure. And you work with them according to what they're doing in ways that they can understand. Okay? And so it used to be that the old days, the Brahmins, which was the priestly class, and the rishis and all of this, they were supposed to be knowers of Brahman. In other words, realized beings. Okay? Then it became by birth. And then they just started learning, all of these ceremonies and started doing ceremonies. But they lost a lot of the wisdom because now it's done by birth, not by the faculties. Okay. So how this ties in again to the groups is you have people in different groups according to their mental outlook and according to their lifestyle, what they're doing now. So you can work with that person where they are at. And most try to aid and give them seva in the best way possible for their lifestyle, rather than trying to cram everybody into a singular lifestyle. It's not fair to them. They're not, there maybe some people, they're not ready to be celibate. Okay, so don't be celibate. But I can give you practices that are more beneficial for celibates if you're not celibate. You see where I'm going with this? Okay? So that's the reason. I try to look at everybody, give everybody an opportunity to move forward where they are in life and with what they're willing to accept in their lives. Okay? If you want to have a family, great, have a family. But understand, when you have a family, you have a commitment to the children. For a good 18 years, you have a commitment to be there for the children. So you can't be sitting there saying, well, but I want mantras that are going to, I'm just going to be doing mantras all day and internalized, and I don't want to, I don't want to do the family seva because that's disturbing my, well, no, you can't do that. If you have a family, you have to give that seva. Okay? That's really important. So you do that seva. That's part of your path. And so this is why we're opening this up, the In the Moment group, for those that they're in family relations, they have children, okay? They're in a lifestyle, they're dating, whatever, they want to continue to date, they want to continue to do these things, okay. Then have that. And here are some practices that can benefit you along the way. They can bring you some stability in your life. They can only aid and further things. But there is also the possibility, if you really, really spend the time in it, and you're really ready to open yourself and to feel those emotions, feel what is there. And this is a practice you can pick up and put down at any time. Unlike Kundalini, once that's awakened, it's going 24/7. You can't put it down, okay? So I'm wanting to give things based upon where people are in their lives that will benefit them. And then we can have the community. And all of the levels of the groups can come together in retreat. Come together in satsang. And then the individual groups are there for specific practice. Okay? But the satsang is the same no matter what group you're in. Okay? The ultimate goal is the same no matter what group you're in. So I hope that answers that as to why. Yes, Belinda.
I would just like to say what my problems have been with the chat site.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like anything I would write, it's a storyline or small talk.
Okay.
And I don't, it's like, what's the point?
Okay.
The other thing is that, and I don't even know whether my picture is there. I mean, I have looked at the chat site, and it didn't seem like anything was going on, and so I just moved on to something else. I know I put my picture someplace, but I don't know whether that was it. There seems to be a very big discrepancy between the number of members of the ashram and the number of pictures on the chat site. So if I'm in one group and don't have access to the other groups, I don't even know who's in the ashram and who isn't.
Right. Well, nobody can get on that sadhaka chat list that is not a member
I understand,
of this
but
community.
I don't know who's in the ashram.
Right.
I only know who's in my group.
Right.
So if nobody from my, I just don't feel connected to the
Yeah,
chat site.
that's okay. There's no reason that you have to.
Okay.
You don't have to join the chat site if you don't want to. Nobody's forced to join that. This is, a lot of people, they like to have that community and they like to be able to talk with other members, they want to have that feeling of community. But it doesn't mean that you have to be on the chat site.
Okay, I just understood
Yeah.
that we were being encouraged to do it, and I just...
It's only being encouraged because people have that feeling and they keep saying we want a sense of community. We want more of a community. So that way, that's a place where everybody can get together and can discuss among themselves. If you're living in the same area, you want to get together, you want to have a meditation group together, whatever. That's a place that you can get together with other people from this path and discuss whatever it is you want to discuss. Okay? But nobody is forced to be on that chat site. If you feel like it's a story, and you're trying to break free of stories, then don't be there. It's that simple. Don't feel like you have to do it. You absolutely you don't. And nobody's going to look down on you if you're not posting at the chat site. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Everybody doesn't like the same tea. Okay? So if you don't like that cup, have a different type of tea? Yes, not Jaideep.
Not Jaideep. The real one's gone. I think what a lot of sadhakas miss, I understand the reason for the separate groups, is seeing the progress of our fellow sadhakas. We don't see how people are progressing anymore,
Right.
apart from in our own group. And I don't know, do we update the sadhaka chat site with that? But we don't want to just be talking about stories, really.
Yeah, and you don't want to pry into their stuff either. Yeah. No, I understand. Everybody here cares about everybody else. And we want to hope that everyone is progressing well. Absolutely. That's a fact. But you can't base your progress depending on how somebody else is progressing. That either. So once again, what is there to do? There's a reason why that we have the various groups, And the reason why we have them outweighs the fact that everybody would like to know what everybody else is doing. As interesting as that is. But you know, the suggestion is again that the people start having more creating and starting to have more meditation groups.